Hi, have you ever wondered why you have PCOS? Is it diet? Is it genetics? Or is it something else? Today, I'm going to be breaking down the things, five root causes of PCOS and what you could do to manage it. My name is Dr. Ndidi Ehim, and I help women who are dealing with polycystic ovary syndrome, whether it be through weight issues, fertility issues, or acne, reverse it naturally without using medications or fad diets, using functional medicine. If you're interested, stay tuned. Okay, so I'm just gonna get right into it. And just for people who don't know, PCOS or polycystic ovary syndrome is an issue that affects women. And a lot of people don't know they have it because they don't know the name PCOS, or the symptoms that they're going through is actually classified as PCOS. Some people might need to see a doctor to get diagnosed, but because it's called a syndrome, it's a combination of different things that come together to actually cause the problem. So you could have several different symptoms, but it doesn't mean you have to have all the problems or all the symptoms that PCOS has. If you have two or more, then it could be classified as PCOS. Now, some people, they might go get an ultrasound to see if they have cysts on your ovaries, but just because you don't have cysts doesn't mean you don't have PCOS. If you've been dealing with miscarriages, fertility issues, if you've been having hirsutism, which is growing hair on places that you don't care about as a woman, if you've been experiencing baldness at the top of your crown, if you've been having irregular periods, it comes a whole bunch of that. Any one of those I just mentioned and you've been through it and you have two or more of those, most likely it might be pointing to PCOS. So number one cause that I'm going to start with today is insulin resistance. If you've been having insulin resistance, I call it the root problem. That is what we're going to launch on as number one. Basically, your body or your cells stop responding to insulin. Insulin is very important, especially when we eat, right? When we eat, our body is supposed to break down the nutrients into different parts of our cells that it needs. Now, if your insulin is not working or your insulin is being resistant, essentially what that means is every time you put something in your body, it doesn't go to the right places. It's not storing fat where it needs to go, store fat. It doesn't take the blood sugar to where it needs to go. So it will lead you to have high blood sugar, high fat storage. Essentially, you begin to say you're adding weight because if you have high levels of insulin, you would also have high levels of androgens, which lead to weight gain. Also, it triggers irregular periods because now your insulin is high. It's also promoting more testosterone. You're going to be experiencing difficulty losing weight. You're going to be adding more weight as you're going along. Your periods will become irregular, and this will start leading to all the other problems. So some people might even start saying, I'm seeing signs of insulin resistance like I'm having sugar cravings, I'm tired all the time, unexplained fatigue, right? After eating, they still want to eat more. They're gaining weight, especially around the belly area. So something you might need to do is kind of, number one, reduce your sugar intake if that's a problem for you with insulin resistance. Balance your blood sugar. Eat more proteins, right? So you can balance it out. And some people might just need to supplement with other things if they're not willing to eat the things they need to eat that's right. Okay, so that's number one cause. Let's talk about number two, hormonal imbalance. Yes, a lot of people experience hormonal imbalance, and this could be high levels of androgens and estrogen dominance in PCOS. And this is where it gets a little bit hard because you're moving around. You don't see that hormones are out of whack. You're just a person that's just there. But the signs are there. So now you need to be able to recognize what those signs are. And so that we're going to talk about that right now. So women with PCOS produce a lot of or too much testosterone. So if you're producing too much testosterone, you're a woman, or estrogen, essentially, you will begin to show more of if it's too much testosterone, you begin to show more male characteristics. So what does that mean? High androgen levels might lead you to be having severe cystic acne, hirsutism, which is excessive hair growth, thinning hair at the top of your crown, irregular periods, miscarriages, infertility, right? And if it's more estrogen, too much estrogen or high estrogen dominance, You might be experiencing weight gain, your moods, your mood swings, heavy periods. So just keep that in mind. And so you for the solution, you might need to focus on more hormone solutions, right? You need to eat balanced foods, reduce stress, and your gut health, right? Promote more healthy gut health. Go get probiotics, prebiotics. Make sure you're detoxing properly. Things to just make sure your gut is intact. This will help you. And these are natural options, but these are options that will help with, protecting your hormone levels to be balanced. Okay? So keep that in mind. Let's talk about number three, sorry. Number three, I would say another problem with PCOS will be chronic inflammation. That's inflammation you've been having for a long time. And inflammation just means that your body has been going through something that has been causing it to either be swollen, painful, red, like that. Now, most times it's happening inside. And when it's happening inside, that's the worst because you can't see it, but your body is presenting different signs. So if you've been having chronic inflammation, it's your body's immune system being overactive, like it's trying to work to fix something. And so it has to expand. It has to push more cells and more things to go in there to heal that place. And if it's not responding, if your body's not responding, then it keeps working over time, for a long time. Normally, it's not supposed to be like that because what's happening to that area is it's causing more swelling, more pain, more issues to you, the person. So how does this affect PCOS, right? All right, so here we go. How does it affect PCOS with inflammation? It worsens the insulin resistance and hormone imbalance. Also, it could cause weight gain, joint issues, bloating, and it could also trigger more tiredness or more fatigue. So this is where inflammation becomes a little bit kind of crazy because you can't say all of these problems I'm having is because of inflammation. It's just causing more severe issues right down the line. So signs might be you have a lot of digestive issues. You might be breaking out. Your skin might be, a little bit more dull looking or blemished. You might be experiencing more tiredness and more bloating. Okay. Solution, can you fix it when it comes to inflammation? Yeah, there are some things you need to do. You can change your diet to be more anti-inflammatory. So there are things that you might need to avoid in your diet. You might need to increase like omega-3s. So like the good fish, salmon is one, anchovies. Promote more turmeric in your diet. So if you could get like the natural turmeric and, add it into your food or, drink it up. Some people like to do like a tea. And manage stress. Stress is like, the reason why I keep bringing up stress is because stress itself is caused by a hormone called cortisol. So essentially, cortisol also is promoted by androgens. Now, if you remember, androgen is also promoting testosterone. So as a woman, if you're having cortisol levels, you're also promoting more testosterone. So if you manage your stress, it could also help in this case. All right. So that's it for chronic inflammation. Now let's get to the fourth root cause of PCOS. And this will be it's kind of a little bit tied into what we just discussed, but gut health. Gut health has a connection to PCOS. In fact, your gut actually has a connection to all disease state. Like I could argue that with anybody because what you put in your mouth comes out in your body. So we cannot stress how important it is to protect your gut. Make sure your gut is intact. There are different things we could do, but let's get right into it. So if you have an imbalanced gut microbiome, it could also lead to hormonal imbalance and insulin problems. Okay? Follow me. How does this affect us when we're talking about PCOS? If you have poor gut health, it will increase the inflammation that you're already having and would also worsen your hormone imbalance. And that's because if your gut is leaky, they call it leaky gut, right? That means you have holes in your gut. And this is years and years of abuse. You've been eating the wrong things. The food has been, more toxic. So it has caused your gut to have holes. And so when you have holes and you're eating more bad things, it's going right into your bloodstream. And for you who's experiencing problems with PCOS, your problem might just be those things are going right into your ovaries, right into your joints, right into your pancreas, causing blood sugar issues, insulin issues, hormonal imbalance, and all of that. So now, how can you fix it? Eat right. Take a probiotic to close those holes so that your gut could be back intact. Eat foods that support more like fiber-rich, more organic items, things that reduce the exposure of more chemicals or toxins to you, okay? And so this is how we could begin fixing our gut. Avoid more of the processed foods. Avoid the sugars, okay? So, number 5 points on the root cause, like what is causing PCOS? What is the cause? Why am I having PCOS? Number 5, I want you to think of genetics. Yep. There's a study out that showed women who have PCOS are actually able to pass it down to their daughters. This is why it's very important for you to learn how to reverse PCOS now, so that just in case, God forbid, your child or your daughter ends up having PCOS, you know how to help her through it naturally and manage and stay that way, because medications is not something you want to be on for the rest of your life. Okay? So genes don't really determine it. It's just the factor or the environmental factor that get passed down, right? What are you talking about? If your mom or your sister has it, it could pass down to you. Yes? Okay. If you come from a family that eats a certain way, that habit and that culture gets passed down to you. So you're going to go and eat the same way. You're going to go and pass down that same eating method to your kids. And if you're not educated enough, they carry it on and on and on. So this is like a two-way kind of deal. So the solution, you need to learn how to fix it. You need to learn how to change your lifestyle. Even if it's genetic, there is still a way you can reverse it and stay that way if you don't go back to the old way or the old lifestyle, the old way you used to eat, the old way you expose yourself to certain things that cause or trigger PCOS. So just keep that in mind. Now, finally, can PCOS be cured? PCOS can be reversed. But if you go back to the certain lifestyle that brought you those causes, the 5 things I just listed, you will go back to having PCOS. You have to find you a good solution to just not go back there, right? So some people, they're like, okay, we'll do the diet and they're good. Some people have to do the exercise and they're good. Some people have to do all of these things and then they're good. And some people have to go on to medications. But I always advise, even if you're on medication, still have the good lifestyle so that it could promote a quicker response to what you're already doing. And then eventually you could kind of get out of that. But focus on what you can control. It's not everything you're going to start all at once. You have to learn certain good things and then start adopting them one by one. So guys, I hope you learned something from this video. If you liked it, please subscribe and share it with somebody. Comment down below, did you know these are the root causes of PCOS? And what are you doing to fix it? Down below, I'm going to add my free guide, What They Don't Tell You About PCOS. It's a guide I created because I saw a lot of women asking questions about PCOS, and I decided to put something together to help you learn and relearn, unlearn some certain things, and how to reverse it naturally. So if that's something of interest to you, go to the description, click it, download it, it's free, and I hope it helps. Until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.